Hello everyone, welcome back to the Bare Threads. So this is another sewing video. I have made a little cute top for my son. So it's very bright and vibrant. This is the Parachute Polo top by Oliver and S. And I'll insert some pictures. So my son decided to outgrow like all of his clothes all at once, and to be fair, he has been wearing them for quite a while. So I decided to make him a few things as well as buying him a few things. I'm trying to use up some of my fabric remnants as much as possible for his clothes because they are really handy for him, for making him clothes. I also wanted to make a long sleeve because it was still a bit chilly, and still is a bit chilly even though we're in the middle of April when I'm filming this. So this was fabric that I had left over from a Frugy mystery bundle. So this is Frugy fabric. So if you've bought or seen Frugy clothes, you probably recognise the fabric. We actually went somewhere where someone had like a coat or something in this flowery fabric, and my son pointed it out. But yeah, this is just the fabric as opposed to buying the clothes, obviously. I didn't have enough of each of them to make the whole thing. So what I could have done is had like the deers on the front and the flowers on the back, but I decided instead it would be more fun to alternate, so to have deers and flowers both front and back. None of the patterns or the colours necessarily super well go, especially this kind of blue polka dot one for the sleeve. It doesn't quite go with the colours, and then the collar and the pocket don't really go either. So I just kind of embraced the fact that they didn't quite go, but they're all very vibrant patterns and kind of cute kiddie patterns as well. The pattern is a polo shirt. It has a knit body and arms, and then it has woven fabric for the collar and the inside of the button placket thing, and then this little pocket here, and then it also does have this like placket, if that's what that's called, but I didn't actually put any buttons on it because I am too scared of buttonholes. And it turns out I've actually lost my buttonhole foot. I think my son has actually taken it and lost it, so buttonholes are a bit of a struggle at the moment until I can get a new buttonhole foot. But yes, it's just very open, and that's just the look that we're embracing with this one. So it is a bit trickier. I did want to do something different than just another t-shirt or another long sleeve t-shirt. So I went for this pattern. I have made it a couple of times before, once for my son and once for my nephew, and I would say that those versions worked out a little bit neater. It's been a while since I made it, and I slightly, forgot how to make it. And I'm not really used to making collars and things, so the collar is a little bit of a trickier element. The kind of placket here is trickier, the pocket attachment is a bit trickier, really. Oh, and it also has a split hem as well, which is quite fun. It has like, the back is a little bit longer, and then it has a split down the side. Really, none of these things are that hard, it's just hard to do them neatly, and that's where I fall down regularly. So my red contrast stitching, top stitching, is just not particularly neat. I shouldn't have done it in red, but the only reason I did was out of sheer laziness, that I just couldn't be bothered to change the thread that was already in my machine, because I made my boyfriend some underwear that was using red fabric. So for him I had used red thread, but for my son I also used red thread, and I should have used green obviously, but I'm not actually sure I would have had a green that matched, but perhaps it would have looked a bit better. It also is just not very straight and neat. He won't care. It's just a bit frustrating, but I'm just not a very neat sewer. Ultimately, I have to accept that, I suppose. The point at the bottom of the button placket here doesn't sit super neatly. It is a little bit wiggly. The worst parts though are actually the shoulders, and this was kind of a problem of my own making, and not just because, like, I found the pattern hard. I don't know if you can see, but it overlaps there, and also at the other side as well, so the back overlaps onto the front. The reason that is because of what I did when I chopped the fabric in half. The pattern doesn't have that centre seam, so I had to create that and add some seam allowance, and obviously I just didn't calculate the seam allowance properly, so I made the sort of bodice and the neckline of the bodice ended up being bigger than the collar. So I didn't realise this until I attached it all and I was trying to line up my notches and stuff, and it didn't line up, and the top was just going to be too big, so I had to somewhere overlap it. So I went for the shoulder seam since there's already a seam there. It definitely looks really weird, but it is mostly actually covered, like the worst part of it is covered by the collar being turned over on top of it, and it's on the shoulders, which isn't as noticeable a place, and it's being worn by a 3-year-old, so he obviously doesn't care. It still fits, it still works, you know, it's not going to fall apart as a result, so it's fine. It was intentional, it's all part of the design. Anyway, that is the Parachute Polo by Oliver and S. There we go. Let me know what you think in the comments. Give me a like and a subscribe to see more of these videos.